I'd like to talk about mental health and things that bring our mental health down, so risk factors to mental health. Right? But before I do that, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Ghazala at the Heart and Soul Cafe. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. And if you're here for the first time, you're more than welcome. Okay, so welcome aboard. So risk factors to mental health. In previous videos, I've talked about what mental health is. So do have a look at that. I've also talked about things that facilitate good mental health, so protective factors to mental health. I've covered a video, in a video I've covered that as well in a previous video. So please do have a look at that. And in this video, I'd really like to look at risk factors to mental health. The first thing that comes to mind is talking about individually. What kind of individual things impact our mental health? Well, the first thing that comes into mind with that is confidence. Okay, if we lack in confidence and self-esteem, that will impact negatively, our mental health. It probably goes without saying. If we're not sure about, who we are, where we're going, what we've got to share in this world, and what we've got to say, and how we're sort of showing up, that will impact our mental health negatively. Okay. Also things such as our physical fitness, and you might think, well, physical fitness, how does that affect your mental health positively? How does that happen? Well, it does, because our mental health affects our physical health, and our physical health affects our mental health, and there's quite a strong parity between the two things. So they do impact each other. So if we are physically unfit, or completely, let's say, in our own minds out of shape, let's say, so we're not judging each other here, we're sort of judging ourselves, if you like. But if we feel that we're not physically in a place where we want to be, that is going to impact on our confidence levels, which is then going to impact negatively on our mental health. So that has a part to play. What else? If we feel that we've achieved things in our lives, you can think about that, scholastically. If you think, possibly, a school time, whether we've received an education that we're happy with, that we're content with, that will add to our confidence levels. If we feel that, we didn't, possibly achieve what we set out to achieve, or we didn't achieve what we feel that we had the ability to achieve, and for whatever reason we didn't achieve those goals, then that would have a negative impact on our confidence levels, and then therefore on our mental health. Other things when it comes to our environment, our communication skills as well, actually. Before I get into environment, our communication skills. If our communication skills are not on point, let's say. When I say that, again, that sounds a bit judgmental, doesn't it? But do we feel that we can articulate what's going on with us? We can articulate, when it comes to things like struggles, are we able to communicate those with others? And the better we feel that we can do that, the more empowering, we can possibly feel. And if we feel that we're not managing to do that very well, in a very productive way, then we could start feeling that we're misunderstood, and that might lead to us withdrawing. And if we withdraw and we sort of push people out, that could have a detrimental effect on our mental health as a result of that. Okay. When it comes to, so back to actually going on to environmental factors here. Risk factors, that could be a lack of resources. So that could be a lack of people around you, family and friends, perhaps, even having pets Okay, so having pets and not having pets can sometimes have, you know, a negative effect on your mental health. Not having people around you who care can bring your mental health down also. Okay, so there are environmental factors. You know, being brought up in so you could sort of look at socioeconomic factors as well. So being brought up in a household where you feel, you know, you went without, let's say, as a child, that could have a negative impact on your mental health. And I've already talked about, you know, scholastic achievements, but you could take that a step further and talk about not having the kind of career you felt that you wanted or you felt that you deserved. That can have a negative impact on your mental health. So growing up possibly in, you know, in poor housing, perhaps. So, and sometimes these things you might agree, and please comment if you don't, or if you do. But you know, sometimes these things can have a bit of a snowball effect. So you could refer to it as a domino effect. That one thing can lead to another, can lead to another, can lead to another. So, for example, being born and brought up in poor housing might lead to difficulty in schooling, might lead to difficulty then in job, in job security, perhaps. That might then lead to difficulty in, you know, sort of maybe, you know, coming into debt and poverty, perhaps. So, you know, do comment. You know, what do you think? You know, it doesn't have to, because sometimes people who grow up who have been brought up in very humble beginnings, that might be the thing that catapults them into success in their lives, because that might be the thing that pushes them towards that success, because they've had such humble beginnings. So it can have complete opposite effect as well. So nothing's written in stone here. We're just, you know, going over things that may be, you know, things that impact our poor mental health, or risk factors that can bring our mental health down. Okay. What else can we talk about? Well, there's also how we deal with things. So our own, do we have a self-help seeking attitude? Okay. So when I talk about that, when it comes to myself, I know that I have a personal self-help seeking attitude. Okay. When I think that something has gone wrong or something is going wrong, I have that awareness, or you can call it awareness, ability, or having that kind of discovery type of attitude, if you like, and trying to put things into place as to trying to find out what it is that's causing me to feel that way. So I have a very strong self-help seeking attitude. Okay. I describe myself as a half glass full kind of person. So a very positive person. I can try and find the positive sides of most situations in most situations in my life. Not all, but most. And I think that does help, absolutely. Okay, so here's some of the protective factors for our mental health. If you can think of any more, please do comment, and let's have a discussion going about protective factors to our mental health and mental health in general, and grief and mental health as well. Let's talk about these things. Okay, so if you found this video of any, found it helpful in any way, please do comment, please do share, please like and subscribe. Subscribe is a really important one, because if we don't get numbers together, we can't build this community, and that's what I would really, really like to do. And you know, so we have the platform here. I think we have a safe platform with, you know, one person showing up every time in the video, and you can sort of, you know, so I think, you know, we can build on that, but we just need some numbers, and then we can move forward with that. Okay, and help each other, and that's really what this is about. Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you for coming into this video. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, take care of your heart and soul. Okay, thank you.